So we got some pretty interesting news in relation to Vitalik Buterin, creator of Ethereum, actually going out and endorsing Ethereum Classic as Ethereum is about to transform into proof of stake. So this is some really interesting stuff because the common narrative that you hear from the Ethereum people is that Ethereum Classic is a useless coin, it has no utility, and it's just basically there's no point in having it. Well, here you have the creator of Ethereum saying something a little bit different. This was at a panel or a presentation that he did in France yesterday in Paris. So let me just play a short clip of what he said, or just the part of the presentation where he mentions Ethereum Classic, and you guys should hear it for yourselves because it's really something else.
Rapid changes that are going to produce all of these really important things that Ethereum people have been looking forward to for a long time are going to have to be done, right? Like, people have been looking forward to proof of stake for a long time. Who here wants to cancel proof of stake?
I do.
I saw one person try to raise their hand and then lower it for fear of getting canceled. No, please. If you want to cancel proof of stake, we're not going to cancel you. We're just, there are plenty of blockchains, like there is Ethereum Classic, which is, the original Ethereum, which did not betray the vision by forking the DAO. It's a very welcoming community, and I, think they'll definitely welcome proof of work fans. So. No, it's not even a joke. Like, if you like proof of work, you should go use Ethereum Classic. It's a totally fine chain. But anyway.
So did you guys hear that? He basically endorsed Ethereum Classic. Now, at first he was acting a little bit sarcastic. Well, if you don't like proof of stake, you can go to Ethereum Classic. But then he was like, no, it's not even a joke. If you like proof of work, if you want Ethereum, if you want Ethereum to remain proof of work, if you want a proof of work version of Ethereum, you use Ethereum Classic. That's essentially what he said. He essentially endorses Ethereum Classic during that presentation. Obviously, he believes in the vision of Ethereum being proof of stake, and he really believes in what he's doing for the future of Ethereum. But it's very interesting that, because there are plenty of Ethereum-based blockchains that are out there. There are literally hundreds, probably thousands of them out there at this point. But the one and only one thing that he mentions, that Ethereum-based proof-of-work blockchain that he mentions, is Ethereum Classic. He says, Ethereum Classic, it had the original vision of Bitcoin. Ethereum. The hard fork is when Ethereum Classic split from regular Ethereum back in, I'd say, like 2017, 2018, around that time period. But now you actually have a real utility of ETC. Because I think one thing that was holding ETC back for such a long time is that, it had that perception that it was just a cheaper version of Ethereum without bringing anything different to the table. Like, there was no real reason to buy ETC over ETH. Some may argue that's still the case. I am super bullish on ETC. I'm also bullish on ETH, but you could see that I have a lot more of my portfolio into Ethereum Classic than I do for Ethereum. My goal is to get above 100 ETC. My average price is around $35, so not a big loss at all. I started out at like a $50 average, so I've been able to average down a lot over time. My ETH average is something like 1,700, and I don't even have a full Ethereum yet. So I got to work on that. And then I have these other coins. But yeah, really the big moves I've been making over the past 3 months have been ETC and ETH. Although I do believe that I will see much bigger gains with Ethereum Classic than with Ethereum. Now, some people have been mentioning when it comes to Ethereum Classic, like over the past year, or really since I'd say like a year, and what was it, May 2021 is really when the crypto market started to cool off a lot. So, yeah, I'd say like a year. Ethereum Classic has been down. I'll just show you since I have my portfolio up. Over the past year, Ethereum Classic has been down 40%, which it used to be a lot more than that before it started to pump. It was down 66%, almost 70%. And then if you go to Ethereum, ETH, over the past year, it's only down 20%. So you have much bigger losses with Ethereum Classic than you do with Ethereum. Now, people say, like, that's proof that Ethereum Classic is just is nothing compared to Ethereum. Ethereum will always be the coin that has the real potential, and Ethereum Classic will be nothing more than a shitcoin that, you know, you'll lose a lot of money. Now, keep in mind, people were painting a very similar picture when Ethereum pumped up to it was around $1,300 in January of 2018, and then crashed all the way down to about $80 within less than a year's time. So that was a 94% drop in a 10-month, 11-month period. You don't think people were saying the exact same thing about Ethereum? Ethereum, you know, 2018 was when we hit was the last bear cycle. Right now we're in the 2021, 2020, 2022 bear cycle. But in 2018, you know, Bitcoin was down pretty big as well. But nothing compared to Ethereum. Ethereum was down almost 94% in less than a year. So keep that in mind whenever you talk about, oh, well, Ethereum Classic was down much bigger than the other coins. Doesn't mean shit. It just means that it hasn't found an audience yet, and it hasn't gotten there yet. You know, because obviously with Ethereum and Bitcoin, you have a much stronger user base where, yeah, obviously, like, it doesn't matter. If you're in a bear market, the price is going to crash regardless, but it's going to be a lot less of a drop-off than with these altcoins like Ethereum Classic and Litecoin that haven't really found their place in the market yet. So that's one thing you should think about. The other thing is that, yeah, really, for the longest time, Ethereum Classic didn't have enough to differentiate itself from regular Ethereum, whatever you want to call it, ETH. Now we do have something. We have the merge, aka the Ethereum transferring from proof of work to proof of stake, which essentially means that you will no longer be able to mine ETH. So what's going to happen? You know how many people have invested thousands upon thousands of dollars to mine Ethereum, setting up the equipment, buying the bulky GPU. Some of them even have entire farms of Ethereum mining. You think they're just going to give up and no longer, and just stop doing business because they're going proof of stake? Of course not. I think what you're starting to see here is all of the Ethereum miners are realizing, because they set a date for September. Now, that date can change because they've set dates before for the Ethereum merge, and it has turned out to not happen. Like, it's been delayed, which is a good thing because Vitalik and his team are making sure that they get this right, that if they do this merge, it doesn't end up being a complete disaster, and we have, like, I don't know, 60, 70, 80% drop-off. I mean, I know they're not really they're not too focused on the price as we traders are, but, you know, just if the chain is messed up, and if there are serious stability problems with the merge, then that's going to be bad for everybody. It's going to be bad for the traders, obviously. It's going to be bad for developers, and people are going to be dropping Ethereum and moving on to other coins that are more stable, like Bitcoin and others. So, here's the thing, though. Ethereum Classic, I know, has a history of the 51% attacks and all that, but the security for ETC is just so much better than it was 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not going to go out and say that it's, you know, that security is impregnable. No, none of them are, though. If you look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, like, none of them are, like, completely free from, you know, being attacked. Like, but I will say with Ethereum Classic, they have come a long way since the 51% attacks, and we haven't really had a serious 51% attack since, what was it, early 2019, around that time. So, you know, but now you have a thing, though, where all the Ethereum miners are going to have nowhere to go. The first place they're going to go is Ethereum Classic because it's a lot easier, because Ethereum Classic essentially uses the same exact code as Ethereum does in its current state prior to the merge. They're going to go to ETC because it's much easier of a transition for Ethereum miners to go to ETC than it would be to like completely transform their Ethereum mining business into Bitcoin mining or something else. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's really what has been driving up the price. Ethereum has obviously seen a lot of movement over the past week. It's 30%. It was a little bit more, 35%. And over the past month, it's up 45%. But then if you look at Ethereum Classic compared to the 45% growth of Ethereum over the past month, Ethereum Classic 63%. There's definitely a little bit more momentum going for ETC than ETH at the moment, although both are, there's a lot more bullish sentiment towards both regarding the merge. For Ethereum, you're essentially going to have, it's going to create a lot more value for the Ethereum blockchain becoming proof of stake, because you're going to have a lot less supply in the market in the long term. You're going to have essentially guaranteed deflation for ETH. Then with ETC, all the miners, though, are not... They're going to have to do something. And what they're going to do is they're going to go to ETC. I see $200 ETC, 300, 400, even 500 within the next bull run. So whether that, 2024, 2025, whatever it's going to be, regardless, I think we are going to see a pretty significant pump leading up to September. I think we could see $100 ETC by the time of the merge. Now, if the merge gets delayed, obviously that's going to change things, and it's going to be a lot different, and you might even have a little bit of a sell-off going on, like maybe even back to the prices we were before, like around 14, 15, because now all the excitement is essentially gone. Even though the merge is going to happen, it's going to sow a lot of doubt with people, because how many times have they said the merge is going to happen on this date, and then they keep delaying it. So some people do think that the merge isn't going to actually happen. I think most people are convinced that it will, but some skeptics remain with ETH and how the whole merge is going to work. Regardless, I think ETC has a bright future. There's never been a more exciting time to get into ETC, because now we have a real purpose, and now we actually have a real place in the crypto market, is that it's essentially Ethereum that you can mine, which, and people say, oh, proof of stake, because it's better for the environment, it has much less of a carbon footprint, all coins are going to go proof of stake. We all know that Bitcoin is never going to change from proof of work. So at the very least, the top cryptocurrency in the world is going to still be mineable, and it's still going to, maintain its original infrastructure. They're not going to go proof of stake like Ethereum is. Ethereum's the first big coin to really go in that direction. So we'll see what happens. It's not guaranteed to be a smooth transition. So what you could see, actually, is if the Ethereum merge doesn't end up very well, if some problems do occur, then you will see a lot of migration. Holy shit. Even, it's going to be unbelievable what ETC is going to think. I think at the very least, in the long term, over the next 2 or 3 years or so, like when we do hit the top of the next bull cycle, I think Ethereum Classic will be worth at least 10% of an Ethereum. So let's say Ethereum pumps up during the next bull cycle to, let's say, $20,000. Again, I'm not making a prediction there, but I'm just putting a number out of my asshole. $20,000 ETH by the top of the next bull cycle in 2024, 2025, whenever we get out of this shithole recession. I think if that happens, we will at least have $2,000 ETC. And it could be even more if the Ethereum merge doesn't work out so well. Then you'll have then Ethereum Classic will be closing the gap even more between ETC and ETH. So it's a very, very interesting time right now in the Ethereum space right now. I'm very bullish towards both. That's why I have both, and I also have other coins as well. I'm still hoping for that Litecoin to do something at some point. I have 10 Litecoin, and you don't even want to know the price I bought in. It's pretty embarrassing. I'll just show it to you guys anyway. It's pretty bad. It's my biggest loss. Yeah, I bought, my cost is 127. I was able to average down. My original cost was like 200, I think. And then with BCH, yeah, I don't have BTC, I have BCH. Maybe I'll make another video about that in the future. But yeah, my average cost of that is like 200. So yeah, some coins I'm doing better than others. Dogecoin, I think I'm down like 50. My average price is like 14 cents. But we'll get there eventually. But I think these are really the two coins you got to look out for in the short term. If you're a short-term trader, you need to look at both of these coins, but especially ETC. And Vitalik essentially endorsing Ethereum Classic definitely validates a lot of the bullish sentiment I've been having towards ETC. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about Ethereum versus Ethereum Classic. Which do you think will make more money in the short term and in the long term? But as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.